Guys, we are back down here in the office this time. That was a very long transition with Erval. And we are here to sell some more things. Now, he came over here for a very specific reason. If you guys don't know, over the last few years, I've been collecting quite a few consoles that I've been seeing in this office. And I think today is finally the day that we're going to go ahead and go through them all and try to get them listed. We have about 7 Xbox 360s that we picked up a couple of weeks ago from a subscriber. And then we have additionally multiple PlayStation 3s, multiple other vintage consoles. We have more Xbox 360s, we have PS1s, PS2s, GameCubes, Wiis, everything you can imagine. So today's video, our goal is to go through all that stuff and get it listed on eBay. We're gonna see how long it takes us, but I'm pretty confident we'll be able to get through it all today. Real quick, of course, if you guys are just joining us here for the first time, be sure to leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. And as always, if you find some value in this or have any questions, leave them down below. And with that, let's jump right into getting these consoles up and listed. Okay, so Erval and I, really quickly before we jump into this, want to make a quick announcement that's sort of, we were trying to keep it formal, but now it's really formal because of this whole video thing. But so we're here doing video game stuff, which might be surprising to some of you guys, because as you know, in the past, we've just ran a separate store. I totally missed there. A separate store, though, one store that was inclusive of all the items that we found at Value Village that we were selling separately, and then we each had our own video game stores. However, we decided more recently that we're sort of just doing the same things and essentially competing against each other, and that it might be best if we just merged all of our video game store together to make one big, huge video game store. So over the last couple months, that's exactly what we've done. We've been working on it here, and I'm super excited to say that we now have merged, and he has now started listing on the Wellplay Games platform, and that's the store that we chose that we were going to try to make the largest video game store in all of Canada. We're going to see. That might be a little ambitious, but that's the goal here, at least on eBay, and I'm thinking that we're going to get there. So that's why you guys have seen so many new listings being pumped out. That's why you've seen Erval doing more of the video game stuff. That's why we did that contest against each other. So all these fun things are going to be, you know, more possibilities down the line for future videos. And of course, we're both very excited to begin this. Also, if you guys are wondering, Erval's existing store, he's got about 400 games on it or so that we are slowly going to transfer over, I believe is the plan, to the store. So we're just going to keep building it bigger. So super excited about all that. We're going to be able to increase our capacity here, increase the amount of games we're able to buy, and ideally, just build it to be crazy large. Anyway, thought I would get that out of the way before we jump into it for anybody that was curious, but that's what's going on. Now let's go ahead and get into listing these consoles. Okay, so you guys may be wondering, what consoles exactly am I talking about? Well, we can start down here. Obviously, this is a testing rack. That stuff's all going to stay there. But below that, or below this table, I should say, are a bunch of consoles. So these are all included in the deal, and we're going to be trying to get these guys started to get listed today. Multiple PS2 Slims there, PS2 Fats, I guess, or whatever you call the consoles, the original ones, GameCube, and the white PlayStation 3, another PS2, so all that stuff. In addition to all that stuff, we have this shelf right here, which may not look like much, but it goes back super far. There's a couple PlayStation 3s back there, there's PS1s back in there. In addition, there's some PS2 Slims, and also another PS3 here, and a couple Xbox 360s. And then, of course, finally, guys, my more recent pickup of all of these Xbox 360s. So this is all the stuff that we're going to be trying to tackle today. It's going to take us quite a bit of time, but we're ambitious. I think we're going to be able to do it. Right, Erval?
That's the plan. Let's do it.
So since we're testing so many consoles today, Erval and I came up with a plan to actually just put 2 TVs right here that have HDMI into them. If you guys don't know, the rack is kind of a pain to get to along the back side of it. And also, we'd be unplugging stuff the entire time. It's just going to be a mess. So instead, we have 2 separate TVs out here. They're going to be plugged in. We can have an HDMI coming from them. We can have a composite cable or whatever, RCA. And that way we can have them all working. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one. He's going to use that one. He's going to do the Xbox 360s. I'm going to do everything else. We're going to see how long this takes us, but we're going to do full testing of all of them. Okay, guys, so progress update. I've just wrapped up testing a PlayStation 3, and now I'm moving on to all these PS2 Slims. And some of you guys may be asking in the past, how do you test consoles in bulk? Well, I think this is pretty much the definition. You grab all of them that you've been keeping for the last year, and then you go ahead and you test them all at once. I've got all the cables back there. I'll be able to just plug each one in and go at them individually, make sure they all work. Erval over here is playing some Forza. Erval, have you got distracted?
You gotta make sure each console won't overheat. Therefore, if you just do about 5 to 6 minutes of testing per console, you can make sure that that actually is gonna run without, you know, breaking when the buyer actually buys one.
Yeah, we'll go with that. No, yeah, he is a fair point, especially with the Xbox 360s. They tend to overheat.
They have very big overheating issues.
It's a good thing. So he does a lap, and then he moves on to the next console. And all within that, he's practicing his driving skills. So it's a win-win.
It's a win-win for
everyone.
everyone.
We love it. So that's what, your second or third one that you're on?
This is the second
one that you're on.
As well, so.
Yeah, so we just basically started here, guys. But I'm going to go ahead now and start working through all of these guys. We'll see how long this takes. I'm hoping that they will all work. So it's update time, guys. And as you can see, we've made quite a mess of the table. We have quite a few systems going through here right now. We've been dealing with the old PS3s, having some trouble due to, I think, some dust buildup. So we're going to have to get some compressed air for those. PS1, as you can see, is working well right over here. Our desk is just an absolute disaster. But it was a good idea to have these 2 TVs. Definitely easier than using the rack. Coming over here, the PS2 Slims were an absolute disaster. I wrote down a bunch of notes for each one of them, but I'm thinking that some of them are not gonna work. Some of them are having disc read issues. I think there's only one that was fully actually working in here, which is a total disaster. So I'm gonna see what I can do. I might be able to clean it off or something, or clean them out to have them to work, or look into how I can fix some of these, because I do not want to have to get rid of all these at lower prices. So we're gonna see what we can do about those. Otherwise, in this room, we have now been through every single one of these consoles, and these ones are all of the working ones. So we are doing pretty well in terms of all this stuff. I'm excited about it. We're gonna be able to get started on listing some of these hopefully here today. But overall, really good progress being made right here. So it's actually the next day here, guys. Everval left last night, and we managed to get so much done yesterday. I was really happy about the progress we made in just a few hours that he was over. So with that in mind, I want to move on to actually getting some of these guys drafted now. We didn't have the time last night to get into it, but I'm feeling now that we're going to be able to do these pretty quickly. My goal, and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do here in a second, but my goal is to get all the PlayStations up. I'm going to leave some of the Xbox 360s for him and I to go through. There's plenty of cables that have to be loaded with those and whatnot. So I'm going to wait on those. However, I want to get some of the PlayStations at least just started today, so we can say that we got a few things up and drafted. Check out what a mess this table is. It's absolutely ridiculous. But what does that entail in terms of what we're listing today? That's what we're going to go through here. I was going to do a PS2 Slim, but then I realized that I want to try to repair the other ones, and I only have one power AC cable for them. So that's not good. I'm either gonna have to order some more. If they don't work, then I'm not gonna bother ordering them, but I want to keep that one so I can test the other one. So I'm not gonna list that guy just yet in case it sells. That guy's not actually tested yet, although I think it works, but we're gonna save that one too because Everval has a remote that we want to bundle with it, a white controller. Other than that, as you guys saw yesterday, these were all the consoles that we managed to get through. So my goal, I suppose, for today is probably just to get maybe these guys done right here. So I brought the first stack over, guys, of PS2s that we're gonna be doing here, and these ones are in pretty good shape overall. You can see there's the one that's missing its front plate here, but these ones were all tested and working just fine. I don't have any cables or controllers I want to bundle with these. So we are just going to be selling these consoles as just consoles, and that's going to be that. So we probably won't get too much for them. I could go through the hassle of ordering power and AV cables for all of them, but then I would also need to wait to get controllers for all of them, and that's just going to be a whole nother game. So I suppose what I'll do is probably just list them now as console onlys, and then if I get any controllers or cables in, then I will go ahead and bundle some. I guess it's more about the controllers, because the cables I can always order the aftermarket ones for. It's the controllers that people care about. So if I get any controllers, then I suppose we could bundle them all together. But for now, I'm just going to draft these guys up individually, and if anything changes, I can always go ahead and relist them as a bundle. Anyway, one of the things I find really useful in doing these kind of consoles is what I do is I just go ahead and I write the model number down on a stick-it note, as well as whatever else is required, anything that's detailed about the console's functionality or whatever. This one's tested and working, and there's a model number for me. So I know exactly what to write down when I'm starting my draft. Also, I've sort of just pushed everything over here. I think it's going to work, but I hope I have enough room to actually take pictures. This should be plenty though. So anyway, I'm going to get right into things here with the first console, and I'll tell you guys when I've finished all these PS2s. I'm halfway through taking pictures of this PS2, and look what I just found. A Value Village sticker still on it. That's not good at all. I've heard of, I think, one case where a buyer got a game with a Value Village sticker. I'm not sure if I heard it from an eBay feedback or something along those lines, but that's like an absolute major no, and I can't believe I missed it there. But luckily, obviously, when I was going to take the picture, I found it. So I've sprayed it with some Goo Gone. I'm going to get it off here, and then we'll continue taking some pictures. Okay, guys, just managed to finish up all the PlayStation 2s. They're stacked right here, and they are all still have their sticky notes on them with a new custom SKU that I wrote, so I can track them when they sell. We're now moving on to these two PlayStation 1 models, which are both tested and working. These should be pretty simple. The back one's very yellowed, but other than that, these ones are all good to go. And now the two PlayStation 1s are done, which leaves us with just this PlayStation 3, which I've now brought over the table, and now we are ready to list it. I've got the cables bundled up there. This is a complete PlayStation 3. Besides like an HDMI cable, but I'm assuming that a buyer would have one of those. So we've got the USB cable for the controller, the tested and working controller, the power cable, and the PlayStation 3 itself. This should be a $130 bundle easily. So we'll see if we're able to get it, but I'm going to go ahead now and get this guy drafted. And with that, guys, I actually just finished up drafting the PlayStation 3 Slim. So with that, these were all the consoles I was able to get drafted today, as well as we got all of that stuff tested. That means next time Everval comes over, we can deal together with all these Xbox 360 consoles, which will be another fun day in itself. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing any multi-quantity listings here, but we may very well be doing some. In addition to that, I'm not going to put this stuff away yet. I've got a few more consoles still to test, and we've got all those PS2 Slims still to figure out, but this is a mess that will have to be cleaned up. With that all in mind, though, guys, I think I am going to wrap things up here today. It has been a long couple days here of testing these consoles. I mean, we only did about a few hours every single day, but still, it takes time and it's a little bit exhausting with this kind of stuff. It's not just sort of that repetitive stuff that you don't have to think about too much like video games. This stuff you actually have to think about. So with that, I'm going to wrap up today's video here. If you guys did enjoy it and found some value in it, be sure to let me know by leaving a like on the video. Also comment down below if you have any questions or any comments that you'd like to make about what happened in today's video. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new, and with that, I will see you guys all in the next video.